Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of the Business Builders webinar series. Today's topic of discussion is growing your practice by leveraging tax returns to create a bookkeeping practice. This series, as you know, has been brought to you by Intuit Canada. And your presenter today is me. And who am I? Well, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tammatha Denyes. I am the owner and CEO of TD Accounting Services. Our office is located in Stirling, Ontario, 20 minutes north of Belleville, and we service our Canadian customers across our vast country and beyond by using cloud-based technology to provide real-time services when they need us. I am a certified professional bookkeeper, a mentor, an educator, and happy to say a social media influencer that loves to help others build their businesses using technology that will streamline their practices. And of course, this depends on what demographic I'm speaking to. As previously mentioned, today we're going to talk about growing your bookkeeping business by leveraging the tax returns that you are currently preparing in your customer base. And in this discussion, we actually have an agenda. So we're going to break this up. It's going to be why we should diversify, planning and focusing, part of planning and focusing, but marketing, a whole separate subject, how to implement, and then there's time left over at the end where there's any questions, if there is any. So let's start. Why should we diversify our practice? You're already doing income tax returns. You've created an income stream that gives you the majority of your income between an 8 and 12-week period. You have time to spare now, so you can go golfing in the summer, you can build a treehouse for your kids, you can go on trips, but don't you find, or perhaps do you find, that all of the money that you've made during that period now has to be allocated across the rest of the year? Diversification allows you to have multiple income streams. And that's the beauty of it. These multiple income streams allows you to develop a practice that includes many. And they say that a millionaire is 7 income streams. Well, now I'm asking you to look at 2. By having this second income stream, you are not putting all of your eggs into one basket. You are diversifying, possibly, and this way spreading out the income over the course of the year. It does create new challenges and opportunities for you. So let's be realistic. There are times when, as much as I love what I do for income tax returns, it's really only challenging me between October and January. October, the new budgets come out approximately, and any new changes come into my existence. I need to spend time, I need to look at them, I need to review them, I need to understand them. And when they become law, which they generally do come January, I now have to understand how to apply them to tax returns. But that's pretty much the extent of my challenges. The rest of the year, when I'm preparing tax returns, I don't really have to spend much time in study, and I don't end up becoming bored. So that's another reason why I ended up diversifying. It avoided boredom. I had challenges every month of every year. And why is that? Well, when you deal with bookkeeping clients, there isn't a day that doesn't go by that we don't have some challenge that's put in front of us. God love them. But it also gave us the opportunity to learn new skills. This was something that really made the push to go towards adding bookkeeping as a diversification in our practice. These new skills not only benefited myself as a bookkeeper, but has benefited the people and businesses that work with us. I can then take those skills and apply it. I can take those learning curves and I can apply it to situations outside of the original reason why I learned it. And this helps everyone. It's a new marketable skill, and I absolutely love it. Another reason why you may possibly consider diversifying your practice is that it's less risk. How does risk come involved, you ask? Well, when I have an income stream that is only generated from 8 to 12 weeks, I can't guarantee how much income's coming in. I can't budget for that in November. I have no idea what my actual earning potential is going to be. But when I diversify using bookkeeping, I can now say I have X number of dollars every month. X number of dollars because I have this client that has signed up with me. I have X number of dollars that I can now allocate to monthly income that now guarantees that my rent is paid, my utilities are paid, that my staff are paid. This is guaranteed regular monthly income, as long as there's synergy between me and my client. Another risk, it's minimal startup costs. I already have to have the paraphernalia on my desk to do tax returns. I need a computer, I need a keyboard, I need a laptop if I don't have a desktop situation. I need the tools that I already have. So the startup costs when it comes to that part of the business is minimal. It gives me an opportunity to increase my income. Now, we just talked about that, but let's go into this just a little bit more. As I had mentioned, it is a guaranteed monthly income. I sign up 5 clients at $200 a month. That's $1,000 a month, guaranteed. I can put that down on paper. With preparing income tax returns, it's a hit or miss. Maybe I have 500 clients. Maybe I'm going to have 1,000. I could only have 200. It depends on the year. It depends on the demographic. And it truly does depend on the quirks of the customer, which I have no control over. So this allows me that guaranteed income. I can set it to the bank. I'm comfortable. I know exactly how much I'm going to make when I'm bookkeeping on a month-to-month basis, and tax returns become a secondary income source, if you will. That secondary income source allows for you to invest in different ways in your business, and then you start relying on your monthly income to cover your day-to-day expenses. I'm going to keep coming back to this. Minimal cost to increase your revenues. You already have the tools in place. You have your equipment, and you have all the tools and tricks that you need. So why not consider it? So if you're going to diversify your practice and you've thought about it and you think that this is a really good idea, the next step that you need to do, or that you need to spend time on, is planning and focusing yourself on where you need to go and what you need to think about to get there. So let's look at that. What is the first thing that you need to do? Well, you need to prepare. Preparation is key, and I would start with first, do you have a bookkeeping certificate or diploma? In certain situations, bookkeepers out there do not. Does that mean they're any less qualified than someone who does? No, they have street experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do recommend considering mentorship or additional certification to anyone in our field. Having the chance, the opportunity to mentor under an older professional, and I don't like to use the word older, but someone who's been in the game longer than you have, you can learn from them. There has been situations that they've come across that they can share how they dealt with that. And I guarantee you that is going to be invaluable when you run into it. It's similar to Facebook. When you have a problem and you go onto one of the groups, what do? You share a problem. And you have all of these people who are mentoring who come in and give you answers that you can help with. Mentorship is key. It truly is key. Finding someone that there's synergy, who can help you grow and help you expand your knowledge level, not only will help you as a bookkeeper, but will also help your customers. And that's who we're here for. Additional certification. There's absolutely nothing wrong in getting additional certification. It just makes us stronger. You can look at Excel, you can look at online platforms, you can look at different ways to expand your knowledge level, which will, again, only help your customer in the end. You now have to make a decision. It might be an easy one or it might not be. But do you want to work with desktop platforms? Do you want to work with online platforms? Or do you want to work with a hybrid of both? There are thousands of bookkeepers across our vast country. Some choose to work exclusively in desktop. We have others that work exclusively in the online platforms. And then we have a bevy that work with a combination of both. It is truly your choice and your decision. Choosing which one you feel most comfortable with, choosing the ones you feel most comfortable with is what matters. If you feel that you are comfortable having a hybrid of both for your customers, then go with it. But take the time to sit down and look at all of your options. Analyze the tools, analyze the pros, the cons, which one's going to work better in your situation. Perhaps you have spotty internet. Maybe online isn't going to be really good for you because you live in none of it. Look at your scenario, your situation, and think about it. Because some people are more comfortable in one platform versus another. Take the time now, and it won't be such a headache later on. Something else you need to think about is budgets. So, desktop. You buy the platform once a year. It's a one-time cost. It's easy to apply. Not a lot of cost there. Online, it's a monthly fee. Perhaps there's additional applications that you want to work with, so there's more of a fee that you have to start paying now. Costs can be subjective to what you're doing. You need to take that into consideration. Look at your options, see how much it's going to cost you on a monthly basis, and add that into your planning. Because if you start running out of money before you really open the door, that's not going to help you or your customer. Deciding on the services that you're going to offer is another planning choice that you have to make. Now, we offer bookkeeping services. What does bookkeeping mean? Bookkeeping to some people means strictly data entry. Enter from the bank account, reconcile the accounts, send the financial statements. To others, it can be getting the information into the accounting platform, analyzing that data, and then having a discussion with the business owner at the end. Everyone does bookkeeping differently, but what services are you going to provide? Taking the time now to sit down and say, I am going to provide payroll services to my customers. Do you have the education that you need to do so? Do you understand the new rules and regulations that are coming down? Do you understand the ones that are already in effect? If you don't, now you have some studying to do. Well, perhaps you may want to offer advisory services. Do you understand or do you have the knowledge level needed to provide that type of service? These are just thoughts to think about as you're walking through this planning step of this journey. Deciding the services is going to be key to our next step, which is workflows. Everything that we do as a bookkeeper, income tax preparer, it doesn't matter. There's a workflow to it. And predominantly, every situation has the same workflow, give or take. There are some idiosyncrasies, but knowing what the workflows are is going to help you plan going forward. Are you going to know them all? No, you're not. And maybe this is where a mentor may come in handy, where you can ask these questions, but knowing the workflows is only going to help you be more efficient. And as your efficiency increases, you can add more customers, your confidence level increases, and these allow you to approach your potential customers with a confidence that almost exudes. Because let's be realistic, a bookkeeper, you are in a trust position. And how are you going to get that customer to come to you and to trust in you is to show confidence in what you're doing. Your workflows are key. And this is why it's on this list. It's time to prepare before you actually get out the door. Pricing. Nothing is finished being prepared or planned unless we talk about pricing. So, hourly, value pricing, fixed menu pricing. You're already doing income tax returns. So how are you pricing your income tax returns? Your income tax returns usually are priced on something called a fixed menu pricing. So it's X number of dollars for this schedule, X number of dollars for a basic, X number of dollars for slips, or perhaps you're saying, I'm going to charge you $150 for the whole shebang. You're already menu pricing. What are you going to do for bookkeeping? Are you going to charge by the hour? Are you going to say to your potential customer, it looks like that you have 10 hours this month worth of work and I'm going to charge you $50 an hour? Making these decisions now will only make it easier when you actually go out and start getting clients. How much are you going to charge? That particular dollar value has to stem from your current costs. Do you know what your current costs are? Again, this is all about preparation. Sitting down and figuring it out so that you still have profit at the end of every month, because that's what it's all about. We're not in this to not make money. But preparation is not done yet. We still have to look at marketing. Just another step of preparation, but it also needs its own category because it is so vast. Now, these are the tips and tricks that I've learned over the course of the last 5 years, because honestly, 5 years ago when I started this journey on my own in the basement as a troll, I was only doing tax returns and then started adding bookkeeping to my repertoire. Not that I wasn't doing bookkeeping for my real job, as I called it, but I only did tax returns on a private basis. So some of the things that I learned as I started to grow is that I needed to create a marketing plan. This was absolutely key, absolutely 100% key. Who was my ideal client? I needed to figure that out. Now, an ideal client doesn't have to be a niche. It doesn't have to be daycare centers, which is what I'm known for. It doesn't have to be restaurants. It doesn't have to be lawyers. It should be an ideal client for you. That could be someone who only wants to work in desktop. That can be situational or it can be job related. Finding who you're marketing to is only going to increase your referral sources. So let's look at an example. In my case, I am looking for businesses that are owned by people between the ages of 18 and 30 who have a high level of technological advancement and who understands the tools that I'm bringing to them. That is my ideal client. It has no bearing what business they're in. As long as they are a suitable client for the QuickBooks Online platform that I focus on, they are an ideal client for me. This is in our marketing plan. We have created this persona, and that is what we focus all of our marketing to. Marketing can also include your current customers. You already have a client base. Your customers that you have come to you and they trust you. They believe in you. They're giving you their most personal information. And sometimes husbands and wives don't even share that with each other, but they're sharing it with you. These current customers are already your advocates. They love you. Reach out to them. Who do they know? They may even have small businesses themselves. They're already coming to you with a shoebox. This is a prime candidate to reach out and say, I'm doing bookkeeping now. Write their names down. Great people to reach out to. You may offer or make a decision to offer discounts or dollars off. Here's the time to do it. This is the time to plan these things out. Are you going to offer a discount for the first year just to get those people in the door? Perhaps you're going to offer a percentage off for referrals. So already reaching out to your existing client base. If you do a referral, that customer comes to me, we sign an agreement, I'm going to give you $10 off your next return. $10 versus how much per monthly for income? I think it's a great trade. But making these decisions now will help you because you don't want to do it on the fly later. You don't have time when you're on the fly later. Recruit your family and your friends. These people, I tell you, I think my husband brings me more clients than anybody else because he loves to talk about me. It's such an untapped territory. Reach out to them. Tell them you're starting this new income stream. Let them know what your plans are. Give them some business cards. Let them keep them in their wallet. Turn them into your salespeople. They already love you. They already care about you. Well, at least your friends do. I'm talking for myself here. These are your salespeople. Let them sell for you. The word of mouth for one person is not as big as the word of mouth of 10. Just think of it that way. Business organizations. This is a great way to get your name out. So Business Networking International, otherwise known as BNI, your Chamber of Commerce. These are organizations that you can attend. You can go to functions, carry business cards in your back pocket, spend time getting your name out, shake some hands, put a smile on your face, throw some confidence up. Let people know you're out there. Let them know that you're in business to do bookkeeping. And social media. What can I say about social media? What can't I say about social media? Marketing in social media is interesting at best, and I shake my head when I say this, because depending on what platform you choose to market on will give you different customer bases. So let's look at Facebook as an example. Love Facebook, all over Facebook. You'll find me on every social platform, but Facebook is my biggest. Facebook is a demographic that is older than my ideal client. But for income tax preparation, it's fantastic. And it's a great marketing source because I'm getting some of the 60s, some of the 50s, 30s, 40s, not so much the younger generation. And then you look at Twitter. Twitter is an ongoing conversation with many different age demographics. Instagram, and yes, bookkeepers can market on Instagram. Instagram is fantastic for getting that younger millennial generation. I love it. Don't forget, you've got YouTube, and there's new ones coming out every day. There's a new one I just heard about yesterday called Vero. Not sure where they're going to fit in all of this, but Vero is another one to think about. Social media, know who they're marketing to, and if that's the demographic you want to market into, then start focusing on that one. Take my word on it, don't do all of them at once because you become overwhelmed. It is a lot of work involved, and social media is a topic all in itself. But take one, concentrate on it, learn it, figure it out, and apply it, and then move on to the next one. Social media can be an extremely fashionable, excellent tool to market to your potential customers, but know which one, right? We're still in the planning stage. Your website. If you do not have a website, now is the time to get one. And I know you've heard that before. Income tax preparation versus bookkeeping. You are really opening up the window here to the people that are going to want to talk to you. How are they going to find you? They're going to find your website. How do they find your website? Because they spend all their time on their phones and tablets now. The way of the yellow pages or easier to reads, they're still there. But I think the reliance on them is getting less and less, and people are relying more on their phones to find you. If they can't find you via a Google search or through your website, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. And another way to, or at least consider, is volunteering. I mean, we're looking at different ways to market yourself and planning on marketing yourselves. This is another opportunity that you have. Volunteer with a local organization that needs an hour of bookkeeping. You now have introduced a number of people to your skill set. Perhaps you want to volunteer at the local hospital or the local charity club and say, you know what, I can count your receipts for you. There's so many different things that you can do to volunteer your time in the bookkeeping industry. What you're doing is you're showing that you're, one, giving back, two, you're opening up this huge, vast resource of people that now know you're in business that possibly didn't know you were there before, but it's finding the time to do so. Should you be adding this? Should you not? This is the planning stages. Now this is the time that we figure it out. Now it's looking at time to implement. You've planned. You have planned your little heart out. You've sat down, you figured out your marketing plan. You've figured out what you're going to sell to your customers. You've figured out how you're going to implement not only your tax season, but your bookkeeping season together, because they actually have to mesh. You can't put one down and put the other one away for 2 months. It's impossible. You've figured out how you're going to market to your customers. Now we need to implement. It's time to go. You need to spend time getting that marketing plan in place. You spent hours on it. Now we start focusing on getting the word out. You're focusing on that particular customer. And there's ways of doing it outside of your marketing plan. Blogging, oh my goodness, this is the biggest way that we have grown exponentially over the course of the last 18 months. Writing. And if you've seen some of my first articles, they were sketchy at best. I'm not going to hide that from you. I have not started out as the best writer, and I'm not saying that I'm the best today, but I can say that I have improved over time. Getting your name out as not an influencer, but as someone who understands the industry. This is going to get people interested in what you have to say. So blogging actually, or article writing, is actually a great way of showing your expertise. And if you're really lucky, you're going to have someone else pick your words up, it's a great way to get your name out. Educate your customers. This kind of does fall back on writing articles, but one of the biggest selling points is we don't sell. We don't sell to our customers. We educate our customers. We have people that ask us questions every day, and those questions become a reason to educate others. Perhaps I found a question on Quora. Maybe I saw someone ask a question on Facebook. If somebody's asking a question, someone else is asking the same question. And if I can take that question and turn it into an educational moment for someone else, I'm not selling something to you, but I'm giving you something for free. You're going to keep coming back for more information, especially if this has hit home for you. Educating your customers is one of the biggest ways we have grown over the course of the last 18 months. But now you're starting to grow. You're implementing all of these things, and all you're hearing is crickets. Nobody's knocking on the door. Nobody is bringing your phone down. What's going on? Are things working for you? Well, this is where monitoring your KPIs come in handy. So what is key performance indicators? For each business, it's different. We have ours that we follow, and we monitor on a monthly basis. And using these KPIs, let us know if we're on track and on target with what our achievements are expected to be. We have certain goals and aspirations in our marketing plan, which then lead into the number of clients that we're going to gain over a period of time. Our KPIs let us know if we're on track for that or not. You can decide what your KPIs are. It's something that is personal. Or maybe, depending on the size of your organization or your practice, this is something that you discuss. Decide what your KPIs are and monitor them. When it comes to implementing a new marketing strategy, a new income source, it is going to be quiet in the beginning. It took months for things to take off for us. And when they did, they took off. And now we're really monitoring because we're growing exponentially. Implementing after action reviews. This allows you to have improvements in your processes. Well, after action reviews are not, oh, I did this wrong. That's not what an after action review is all about. An AAR gives me the opportunity to find ways to improve on something. It's not a negative, it's a positive. Maybe there was no hiccups. Maybe everything went smooth as butter. But is there a way that I can improve it that much more? There's always ways to break it down, find ways to improve until we maximize our abilities 100%. That is my goal. There's always room for improvement. Implementing AARs, or after action reviews, actually can be a good thing, whether you're a sole proprietor or not. Learn from the experience, grow from the experience, share the information with your mentor, and the two of you can discuss it out. So I'm going to leave you with one last thing. You don't have to be great to start. but you have to start to be great. So don't be afraid. Take the step, plan, work through all of the different items you need to think about, and then go for it. So this brings us to our question and answer period. And if there's any questions, I'd love to take time to answer them for you. And I do want to say thank you, though. It's been really wonderful having this opportunity to speak with you. I hope you've taken something away from this webinar that you didn't have in the past. I'm also hoping that if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me on all social media. You will find me on Facebook. You will find me on Twitter. You will also find me on Instagram. And I'd love to hear what it is that you have to say. But in the meantime, I want to say that we have another webinar coming up on April 17th. And this one is called Changing Role of the Bookkeeper. So we'd love to see you attend. There is the registration link right there on the screen, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great one.